Hello and welcome to Watch Me, where you'll find tips, tricks, reviews on watches. Here I have with me the Oris Diver 65 with the bronze bezel in 40mm case width. Instead of doing just a regular review of the watch, I figured I'd bring a bunch of straps and show you different looks and how well it works on some of these strap variations. Now, the watch itself is one of my favorite pieces in the Oris collection, especially because it marries the really well proportioned Diver 65 with a color palette which is subtle, elegant, and really quite appealing in person. The bronze bezel has a understated look and it doesn't really scream at you, and it's slim and it's just like an edging. This gives a mild tonality to the watch that just plays with the markers and the black dial really well. The markers themselves are also covered in a sort of like a rose gold bronze like color. I wouldn't exactly call it gold, I wouldn't exactly call it bronze either. And the loom dots are also not white, they have this mild creamish green look to them, so it all combines really well. The sapphire crystal is a domed crystal with AR coating on the inside, and as you notice in some angles it tends to catch a purple hue, like a reflection of sorts, and that adds to the visual depth and visual interest of the watch. When you wear it in sunlight and move it around, it makes it a little more interesting as well. It wears like a 40mm watch. It doesn't wear too big or too small for 40. It wears as the spec suggests. The lug to lug is around 48-49mm, which is a little on the longer side. They're kind of tapered and fairly slim, and you see this curve on the end. Visually it ends up looking a little shorter than the measurement suggests. The lug width is one of my favorite strap widths, 20mm, because you can get a ton of straps to go with a 20mm lug width. And the thickness, thanks to the domed sapphire, is I think mid 13 mm. The watch itself wears very slim. If it wasn't for this aspect of it, if you look at the case, it's actually a fairly slim case and it doesn't have a see-through case back, so the profile is quite slim. The mid case looks really slender. So on the wrist it has a slim flat look and not a bulbous diver look, because the bezel actually sits inside and it's a thin bezel. The action on the bezel is pretty good. I mean, it's not quite top of the line, but it has a nice feel to it, good grip, good positive click. If I had to criticize, I would say definitely the aluminum bezel. Nowadays a diver is expected to have a ceramic bezel, so the aluminum bezel is one of the drawbacks of this watch, but I think it suits the aesthetic. I'm not sure a shiny ceramic bezel would have suited it as much, but a matte ceramic may work. The crown, yeah, I feel the look of the crown doesn't quite jive with the rest of the watch. It kind of sticks out and looks like a crown from a different watch was put on this one. So now let's look at some of the strap options. Of course, the Tropic strap. This is visually a very good look, and it's extremely comfortable and easy to wear, and there are a lot of folks who will never see the need to change this up. It's one of the nicer rubber straps in the market on a dive watch. But with this color tone and color palette, it screams out for shades of brown, leather, and this is a Nomos strap. I think it will look really quite nice on this watch. It's fairly slim and gives a good contrast, and the shine on the strap goes with the shine on the dial as well. Another look would be a slightly different tone here, a little lighter brown. Let's see how that looks. This is a strap that has quick release, so it's a lot easier to take off and put back on. There you go. So I think this is a nice look as well, with the matching leather. I think it will look quite impressive. If you wanted a black strap instead of the brown tones, we have the same strap that I just tried, but with black surface. Let's see how that looks. As you can see, it kind of totally changed the personality of the watch. The shiny black dial pops a little bit more now after the switch, and the strap kind of takes the back seat and the watch is front and center. However, the tones on the markers and the bronze bezel sort of get lost in the mix a little bit, and they're not highlighted as much as they were on the brown tone straps. Moving on to one with the classic double stitch on either side. So this look again works because it's a vintage style diver, and that is another cool look for the watch. I think it goes really well. Something like a dark green NATO strap basically brings out the sort of wood tones. It contrasts with the the brown, goldish brown bronze, and gives an interesting look to the watch. This is a pearl-on strap, something like this. Visually, I think this look really works as well, if you're okay with the thickness of the watch with a thick fabric strap. So there you go. Those are some ideas for you on how to dress up your Oris Diver 65. As I said, it's one of my favorite watches in the 2K price point. Please remember to like and subscribe, and post any comments or questions you may have on this watch, and I'll respond the best I can. Thanks again for watching the video. See you next time.